Well, I'm back from my summer holiday. We had a lovely week in Devon, but now I feel that it's time to start looking forward to the autumn. It's currently the end of July. It'll be the end of July when this video is published. So like I said, I'm in the end of July. Next month is August, which is my birthday month. And as soon as my birthday is over and done with, then to me, it really is the autumn. I don't know how you feel, but I'm over my summer clothes now. I've got enough in my wardrobe to last me for the next month and possibly into September. But I really do need to start looking forward to making my autumn capsule. So let's get started. I'm doing something a little bit different for this capsule wardrobe. I'm calling it my autumn wardrobe, but hopefully it will continue into the winter. So I'm not trying to think of other garments to make for the winter month. So hopefully I'll be able to use the next couple of weeks coming into September to start building up my warmer clothes. For this capsule, I've decided to do something a little bit different. It's similar to what I did back in January when I did the Itch to Stitch winter capsule wardrobe for myself, or planned it. This season I'm going to think about, well, I've planned a Seamwork capsule wardrobe. I've chosen Seamwork because back in May this year, so 2 months ago really, I resubscribed to Seamwork and I subscribed to the unlimited membership, which means that I can use and download any pattern within their catalogue, and there are over 200 patterns to choose from, and there are also member bonuses for quite a few of their patterns, which gives you an awful lot of patterns to choose from. Let's get on with colours then. I've rambled on enough, haven't I, already? So these were my spring and summer colours. Quite a few there. I did use navy, I did use white. I had chambray anyway in my wardrobe, so I didn't make anything else chambray because I've had some chambray skirts and everything. I used pink, I didn't use green, I think. I'm not sure I used yellow, although I got some fabric. But I used red, but I didn't really use any of these other colours. So for autumn, I have trimmed my colours down quite a lot. And I've gone for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I've gone for 7 colours. I've gone for black as my dark neutral, white as my light neutral, grey as my mid neutral, and I've gone for red, purple, pink, and possibly turquoise to take me from late summer into the early autumn, because I've still been wearing my summer clothes for quite a while yet. Your colour palette is one thing that I do suggest if you're thinking about a capsule wardrobe for season. I do suggest you get your colours together, if only to take them shopping with you, so you can think, hang on a minute, will this fabric that I want to buy, will it fit into my colour palette for the season? And you can make an assessment there and then. It certainly keeps me on track when I'm online shopping. Last couple of seasons I've been producing my plans digitally. So I had a phase where I hand drew them, but every time I changed my mind, I had to hand draw it all over again. With a digital version of the plans, I can just take images out and put other ones in. So it's easy for me to do it that way. You can do it with Canva. I can't really go into massive instructions how to do it because it's quite involved, but I did mine on Canva. So let me just show you my plans. I'll go over each individual pattern that I've added to my plans individually, but I just wanted to show you my plans on my planning sheets. Here are my tops and cardigans and jumpers, as you can see there. I have a page of bottoms with skirts and trousers there. And I also have a page of outerwear. Now, outerwear is a thing I am really desperate to make. So we'll come to that later, but I've got a few jackets and coats on there. So let's have a look at the patterns I've chosen. So here we go then. My first garment is this garment here. Now this one here. So you might be wondering why I've got a short sleeved or sleeveless, sorry, top with a V-neck and a V-back in my autumn plans. The reason I chose the first garment, which is the Clark top, is that I want something to take me from late summer to early autumn. And I thought that with the Clark, if you made it in a nice fine viscose challis, for example, or cotton lawn, it's nice and light and airy. If you made it in one of your plain colours, which is for this here, there we go, plain colours again, you'd be able to wear it with any of the bottoms, and it's just something that you could wear on a warmer day. When it gets cooler at night, you can just pop over a cardigan. So the Clark was the first on my list. Second garment is this one here. It's sleeveless top. That's the Aronica top and dress. I think this is great value for money because it's a top and kind of a longer dress as well. It's a t-shirt dress. It's sleeveless, it has got a round neck, and they're the only variations that the pattern has. However, it does have a member bonus, and it has kind of a front twisted sash, which just lifts that dress or the top into perhaps evening wear rather than daytime wear. I can see that top being made in a nice cotton lycra, again, probably one of the brighter colours in my colour palette, to wear under maybe a jumper or maybe a cardigan popped over the top to take me again from the warmer summer weeks into the cooler autumn. The third garment on my plans is this one here. That is the Edie top, which has a really beautiful grown on funnel neck there. It is sleeveless again, and I can see this being worn either with a pair of jeans or a pair of trousers or a slim pencil skirt, or also under a jacket if you go to work in an office with a nice skirt and a pair of trousers or whatever. So you can dress that up or dress it down depending on your occasion. I think that'll look absolutely fantastic in a nice viscose cotton jersey, a nice drapey one, so that the neck drapes nicely. I choose white for that. I don't know why, I just think white is a really clean colour. If you wear it with navy for your end of summer garments or black for your start of autumn and winter garments, I think that's a really versatile piece there to have in your wardrobe. Fourth garment's a little bit unusual for me. It's this one here. It's the Marlowe top. Now, you can see by the pictures I've put up here that the Marlowe top has a grown-on sleeve. It has a V-neck and it's buttoned through at the front. So if you're new to making shirts or blouses or that kind of top, instead of, it's for woven fabrics, by the way, whereas the Aronica and Edie were for knit fabrics. So if you're new to using woven fabrics and you want to try your hand at it and make a top, that's probably a really good place to start because there's no fiddly set-in sleeves and you're going to expand your skills by using buttonholes down the front of your garment. There are no fiddly collars, it's very straightforward, so it's a really good place to start your woven journey. Again, I've chosen it so that you can wear it if it's warmer in the day and then throw a cardigan or jumper over it in the evenings. My fifth garment then, I have the obligatory long sleeved round neck top. Now you can see actually here and on the pictures, it's the Alice, by the way, the Alice pattern, that the Alice has long sleeves, but it does have a round neck. And I would usually go for a slightly lower neck. I'm going to try the round neck first of all. If I don't like the way it sits, I can always scoop it out and just trace off a neckline and a neckband from another pattern in my collection. But I've not tried the Alice before. Again, I would be making that in one of my plain colours, probably something like a black or white or grey, or any one of my pops of colour here. I'd be wearing that in my workroom and in my office during the day, maybe with a short skirt and a cardigan over the top. It's starting to layer up now, aren't we, as far as the plans are concerned? We're starting to look at layers. So a long sleeve top, I guess you could also shorten the sleeve for a 3/4 or short sleeve top anyway. But I think that's a really good blank canvas for you to unleash your inner designer. My next long sleeve top is also a little bit different. So it's this one here. And this is the Jenny top. It's got long sleeves again, and you may notice on the pattern flats that it has a yoke treatment. There's in fact a seam across the top of the yoke. The top has a mock turtleneck and long sleeves, and this seam across the yoke just adds a bit of a design feature to it. I mean, you could actually use a different fabric for the top of the yoke and the body if you've got a particular fabric that you want to use. We're looking at cotton lycra possibly for this, so that the neckline sits nicely. Certainly that mock turtle neckline is good for keeping your neck warm when it gets a little bit cooler. I can see me making quite a lot of these in different colours to take me into the winter. My last top then is this top here. It's got the grown on neck again. It's a funnel neck. It's the Ace top. Seamwork show this in a nice striped fabric, and I really like the look of that. I can also see it being made in just a block colour, for instance, just a plain block colour. It has to be a fabric that drapes the neck, again like the Edie, because that drapes at the neck as well, and it's a grown on kind of funnel neck, but it has to have some drape. So I can see a nice cotton viscose jersey being used for that. That has lots of drape. A nice bright pop of colour would be really lovely. Gives you some dopamine dressing, doesn't it, on a really dull day. On to our jumpers or sweaters and cardigans then. Really popular garment is this one. It's this one here. It's the Astoria top. I think this is one of Seamwork's most popular patterns. It was one of their, probably the first patterns. I think it was actually published when Seamwork was called Colette Media. I've had this actually printed out for quite a while, never made it. So now's my chance. It has quite a deep round neck. It's actually kind of a boat neck really, but it doesn't sit across your neck. It's a little bit deeper than that. It's a wide round neck. It either has long sleeves or 3/4 sleeves, and it's got a band at the bottom. So it's really nice to wear with high-waisted skirts, high-waisted trousers or pants. I can actually see this being worn with a pair of wide leg trousers or a long pencil skirt. I'll come to the pencil skirts later on, but a long pencil skirt with a nice pair of boots. That would really look classy in my opinion. I think a really nice soft sweater knit will be perfect to make the Astoria. Next garment, which is here, hope you can see that, is the Oliver top. Now this really does have a boat neck treatment. It's very kind of, again, straight lines. I like straight lines and things like that. I don't like frills or anything. I like straightforward, straight lines. That's my aesthetic. I really like the fact that it's got a boat neck, but the sleeves just are that little bit different. They are lantern sleeves. So the sleeve sort of extends in width towards the elbow. There's a seam across the middle of the sleeve here, and then the sleeve decreases in width to the wrist. So it has a kind of lantern effect. I think that's just something really different for an everyday kind of top or sweater. As for fabrics, I can see that being made again in a sweater knit, but I'm really drawn towards French terry for that. And for some reason, I've got the idea of making a red French terry Oliver for my autumn wardrobe. Made easier, of course, by the fact that I do have some red French terry in my fabric stash. Got another sweater down at the bottom here. There we go. That's the Callan sweater, but it does have the member bonus sleeves. The Callan is again a kind of a boat neck kind of treatment for the neckline, but it does have buttons at each of the shoulders. They are fake, so you don't have to bother about actually stitching buttonholes and cutting them open and then getting your buttons to fit. You can just you don't even have to stitch buttonholes, and if you did stitch buttonholes, you can just stitch the buttons right over the top and through the shoulder seam. But you could just literally just attach a couple of buttons either side of the shoulders. The sleeves, however, on the pattern that you could buy individually from Seamwork, there is kind of a flared sleeve. But the sleeve I put into my plans onto the Callan, it's a long straight sleeve with a cuff. And I think for me, this is far more practical for my day-to-day life. I do like to push my sleeves up when I'm working or doing jobs around the house. But I also like a sleeve that's down to my wrist so that if I'm chilly, I think if your wrists are exposed or your ankles are exposed, you feel colder, don't you? So if I can put a sweater over my wrists, then I'm much happier warmth-wise. So that's why I went for the member bonus sleeves. Now, I did mention that I would like to make the Outerwear in French terry, and I'd like to make the Callan sweater in French terry as well. Not sure what colour I'd choose. Looking at my colour palette swatch here, I don't know. I've got red, but I think 2 red sweaters maybe would be a little bit of overkill. So I might have to invest in another shade of French terry. So as far as cardigans are concerned, I do have 2 on my plans. I have this one here, which is the Lisa, and this one here, which is the Milo cardigan. Now, on first glance, they do look quite similar, but there are subtle differences, and this is why I chose both of them. I probably will only use one pattern, but I couldn't decide when I was putting my planning sheets together which cardigan I preferred. The Lisa is a little bit more cropped. It's got balloon sleeves with cuff. Both cardigans have a V-neck. So I like the sleeves on that. The Milo has long sleeves with cuff and they're more fitted sleeves, but it has 2 lengths, so it has a shorter length and a longer length. It also has a V-neck, like I said. It also has pockets. Now, I'm not a pocket person. I will not have pockets in my dresses, my skirts, or my cardigans. I'll have back pockets and trousers. I'm not a big pocket person, so I wouldn't put the pockets onto the Milo, but I couldn't decide which silhouette I preferred. I may well do both and then go, well, I prefer this one, you know, and I prefer the features of that one. But I did put both on my plans just because I couldn't decide which one I was going to make finally. I also like, this is not Seamwork pattern, the Saskia from Style Arc. It's a nice classic little cardigan. So I will probably be making some of those as well in different colours, just to take me from summer to autumn. The Milo and the Lisa are cardigans that you'd probably make in French terry. So I'm thinking of black, grey, red, purple, that kind of thing, to pop over my tops that I've already showed to you. So yeah, 2 cardigans there, the Milo and the Lisa. So now we're on our second page of plans and looking at the bottoms. So I've got skirts and trousers on here. I put 4 skirts on to my plans, but I actually have a wardrobe full of skirts. I quite like wearing skirts in the autumn and winter because I can wear them over a pair of leggings and put socks on, and I'm really, really warm when I'm working with a skirt, pair of leggings and socks on, and obviously a top in my workroom in the winter. Jeans and trousers I tend to find I get a lot colder in, so I'm more likely to wear a skirt in the winter. However, I'm more likely to also wear a pair of trousers or jeans in the autumn. So I've got a bit of a mix there. So let's just look at the skirts and my plans. Good old pencil skirt here. That is the Margot pencil skirt. It's, again, I think it was one of Seamwork's first patterns, possibly when they were Colette. I'm not sure about that. I think it was probably when they just moved over to Seamwork. But it's been in their catalogue for what seems ages. Ever since I joined back in 2019, it's been a staple pattern in their catalogue. It's made for stretch fabrics. It has an elasticated waist and it has side splits up the side. To my mind, this is a pattern that you could shorten quite easily. You can have a little pencil skirt or have it long with slits in the side. Wear it with tights and boots for going out. Wear it short over leggings and a pair of boots for your workroom like I do. It's a multifunctional skirt. There's also a member bonus, and that is a circle skirt. So if you fancy a pull-on circle skirt or a pencil skirt, the Margot is a pattern for you. Over the summer, I've been wearing a lot of my bias cut skirts. I've been wearing the Genoa skirt from Stylark on rotation. I've got quite a few of them in my wardrobe. But Seamwork also has a similar skirt. It's bias cut. It's this one here on my plans. That is the Desi skirt. Now this also has an elasticated waist, but it has a distinct waistband rather than the elastic being stitched on to the grown-on waistband on the Genoa. It also has, as you can see here from my plans and the lay diagrams that I've put onto the screen here, that it has a diagonal seam for the front only. The back is plain, but I think that just adds a little bit of, again, a design feature to an almost basic skirt. I know it's biased, but it's kind of a basic, ordinary plain skirt. I can see that being made in a nice linen, dark linen, probably one of my dark neutrals, a grey or black. And I found that linen is cool in the summer and warm in the winter. So a nice linen skirt is perfect for the cooler autumn days. It's perfect for going to places like going to have your hair cut or going out for lunch with friends. So it's a bit more dressed up. I probably wouldn't wear it in my workroom, but I definitely wear it for going out of the house and going to appointments. Now, I've kind of mentioned this style before as far as Stylark is concerned. It's a button through denim skirt. This is the Brooks skirt from Seamwork. The normal pattern has a straight through button front. I think it's for stretch denim or stretch wovens with about 10% of stretch. So just be aware of that if you want to make it. I have quite a lot of denim in my stash. Some of it is slight stretch denim. So I think that would be a great skirt to make for the autumn. So the main pattern for the Brooks skirt, the one you can buy, obviously, if you don't have a membership, has a button through front. However, if you're a member, there's a member bonus, and this is the version that I like the best. Instead of a button through front, it has a fly front and kind of a shaped front seam, and it looks like you've taken a pair of jeans and made a denim skirt out of it. And I had a phase of making those a little while ago, probably about 10 years ago to be fair. I'd take a pair of jeans, cut the legs and then make a skirt out of it. And I absolutely loved them. So the fact that there's a pattern for that, I was really interested in. So yeah, I can see me making the Brooks skirt, but in the member bonus in a nice stretch woven denim. Fourth skirt on the agenda, I have actually made the pattern up previously. It's this one. It's the member bonus for the Greer dress. So I'm going to call it the Greer skirt. Like I said, you do have to be a member to access this bonus pattern. It's a pattern standing on its own. You don't have to have patterns of the Greer dress to bring into the bonus if you like. It's an elasticated waist trumpet midi skirt, and I made myself one for my summer holidays right at the beginning of June, and I've worn it quite a few times. I made mine in scuba crepe. I think it's an absolutely really fun skirt because it has a fun print. For autumn and winter, I've been making that in a plain scuba crepe fabric, obviously a stretch. I think I've been making mine in black or charcoal grey. It's the kind of thing, again, that I'd be wearing to go out in to the pub for a meal, or to have my hair cut, or to go to a dental appointment or whatever, because it's a little bit smarter. Although you could quite happily make it in, for example, ponte or something like that, and wear it when you're pootling around the house. So yeah, the Greer skirt is an absolutely fantastic addition to anyone's autumn capsule wardrobe. I only have 3 pairs of trousers in these plans. One of the reasons is that I didn't know what kind of trousers I wanted this year. I'll show you what I've got in my plans and then talk about which trousers I might make extra to these from other designers. So first of all, on my plans, I've got a pair of leggings. These are really ordinary, straightforward leggings. I usually buy my leggings from the supermarket. I've got about, I don't know, 8 pairs altogether, and I obviously wear a pair every day. And I wear them under a short, straight skirt, like I've sort of mentioned before, because it keeps me a lot warmer in my workroom. But I think I'm going to make myself some leggings this year. These Shelley leggings have got a nice wide waistband, and they're nice and obviously fitted because they're leggings. I've never made leggings before, so I'm not really sure what to expect from a fit point of view. I've got some really nice bamboo jersey, which is nice and soft. It's not thick at all, it's nice and fine and soft. So I think a pair of leggings in the bamboo jersey, which is black, is a good start. I've got the fabric, I've got the pattern. I might as well make the leggings rather than going out and spending money on buying them from a supermarket. Next pattern are the Joss wide leg trousers. This pattern is currently free for non-members. So if you hop over to the Seamwork website, you should be able to download that to get a tester of what Seamwork patterns are like. Yeah, so they're a wide leg trouser with pockets at the front, but they don't have pockets at the back. So I'm not entirely sure whether I'll be adding pockets to the back or using the front pockets. They are, obviously that is the style and that is the design of the trousers. I could put no pockets on whatsoever. I do have trousers with no pockets at all. Therefore, it's for woven fabric. The pattern's for woven fabric, and they would look really lovely in a nice linen. Again, like I said, linen is warm in the winter and cool in the summer. I have to get that the right way around then. They do often need to be pressed after you've put them into the washing machine and dried them, which I'm quite happy to do 1 or 2 pairs, but not the whole, obviously the whole of my wardrobe every week. So I'd quite like to give those a go in either black or grey linen. They do have an elasticated waist, so they're quite easy to fit. And like I said, they are free for non-members at the moment. My third pair of pants here are the Iggy pants. And the Iggy pants have the current trend of the barrel leg. So they're kind of a banana leg, if you like, or the barrel leg, and they're kind of shaped down to a narrower ankle. Now, these pants, I've been wanting a pair of barrel leg pants for quite a while. I probably haven't had the nerve to try them yet, So hopefully them being on my plans will encourage me to make them. Again, a nice linen would be fantastic for the Iggies. A nice lightweight denim would also be lovely for the Iggies. They offer woven fabrics. Obviously the pattern is for woven fabrics. They have a waistband with a button and a fly, and the pockets are actually in the side seams, but they're not kind of ones that you put your hands in like that. They are kind of on, you'll see from the flats anyway. They don't have any back pockets either. So I really quite fancy those for my wardrobe as well. And I think all these bottoms will look really good with the tops that I've chosen for my autumn wardrobe as well. I do need a lot of long sleeve tops, and I need trousers. I don't necessarily need skirts, but they're on my plans. So hopefully I'll have some really good coordinates there. One pattern that I'm going to add in here, I've been wanting a pair of wide leg jeans for a while. I looked again in some shops when I was on holiday, and the price of wide leg jeans made me gasp. Plus the fact that they won't fit my waist and my hips at the same time. They'll be gaping at the back of my waist. So I'm just going to make them. But the pattern I have in mind is the Style Art Carlisle jeans. And I think, again, that all the tops will look really lovely with the wider legged Carlisle jeans and the Iggies. So I'm really going to try and make those two pair of jeans for this coming season. The eagle-eyed amongst you will have noticed I have two dresses at the bottom of this page. I have the Lenny dress and the Greer dress here. I've added those not because I'm a big dress wearer. I'm not. I've only usually have about one dress in my wardrobe per season. I'm just not a dress wearer at all. I prefer coordinates. I've chosen the Lenny and the Greer because I think you could chop the dress in half, if you like, at the hip and make a really good top from both of those patterns. The Greer already has the bonus pattern of the skirt, and I think you could make a really nice top out of that. So you've got the mock turtleneck. The Lenny actually has a turtleneck that folds down. So if you're looking for a roll neck top, which I often wear again in my workroom, I wore a couple that I made a lot last year. It keeps you nice and warm around your neck. You could use the Jenny pattern to make that roll neck top out of. So I've added Jenny and the Greer as well. I could see myself wearing the Jenny in a really nice grey cotton lycra. It's slightly thicker. I did make a top and a skirt ensemble for myself a couple of years ago for my son's graduation. I wear the top all the time. The skirt's in French terry, so I don't tend to wear that because it really is for cooler weather. But I think I prefer the Lenny dress to the ensemble. Although I could make either the Greer dress as a top and the Lenny dress as a top and wear them with the Greer skirt. Never thought of that. So there you go. I've got a two-piece dress there straight away. To my final planning sheet. Hurrah, I hear you cry. Outerwear. I haven't got a decent coat. So I do want to make myself a coat for this coming season. I have a few jackets on my plans. The first one is a really easy beginner style classic blazer. It's the Delavan jacket. It's made in a stable knit fabric, so you could make it in Ponte, for example. It's got a shawl collar, long sleeves, and it's very, very simple. It's got sort of darts at the bottom as well to give it some shaping. I just looked at the pattern. It's not in stable knits at all. It's in lightweight woven fabric. Sorry about that. It doesn't have a lining, however, so it's still straightforward. You could actually make it. I don't see why you can't make it in the stable Ponte. as long as it hasn't got too much stretch. In fact, I think it'll look quite nice and it'll be quite comfortable for autumn. The model that you can see here is wearing a beautiful version in a camel shade. I think she looks absolutely amazing in that blazer. Unfortunately, camel does not suit me whatsoever because it's a very warm colour and I'm a cool colouring. So I won't be making one in camel, but I really would like one in black or grey. I have a chore jacket on my plans here. Quite nice to throw on with a smarter skirt or over a dress. It's kind of like a denim jacket, but it's not. So it doesn't have all the features of a denim jacket. It does have pockets at the front. This is the Ret chore jacket, by the way. I can see myself making that in a nice dark denim. It doesn't need to have any stretch. With obviously the denim hardware, so buttons, etc. But it doesn't have the, like I said, all the features of a denim jacket, or the classic features of a denim jacket, such as the panels on the bodice, etc. Has straight sleeves with just a normal hem. There are a couple of sleeve variations. I like the slanted pockets. I'm looking down at my plans all the time when I'm doing this, by the way. I like the slanted pockets for that, because I think it gives a bit of extra something. So yeah, and it has a small collar. So yeah, I can see that in a nice denim over the other garments in my capsule. And the final garment is a tailored coat. What can I say about this coat? It's the bay coat. And like I said, it's tailored. It's fully lined, it has long sleeves, it has a back vent at the bottom of the back, and it has lapels. It's absolutely gorgeous. However, it's not so complicated that I think I'd be intimidated by it. And I think if I took it step by step, there's no reason why I can't make that. Like I said, I'm in desperate need of a winter coat. And the sewist in me won't let me buy one. I have plenty of woolen suiting in my stash. I went to my mum's a few months ago and raided her fabric stash, and I also have plenty of raincoat fabric and woolen fabric to make coats with. So I have no limits as far as the fabrics are concerned. So you'll see in the photographs here that the models are wearing, that one's wearing a grey coat, the other one's wearing, again, a camel coat, which looks beautiful, but camel isn't my colour. So I'd probably go for either grey or a really nice deep purple with either a matching or a contrast lining. It's a kind of project that I'd put to one side and work on perhaps on a rainy weekend afternoon when I'm in the house on my own, with something good on Netflix or on YouTube to watch. A really satisfying sew, something to really get your teeth into. So that's my final garment, the bay tailored coat. So there we have it, my plans for autumn. I've showed 24 patterns to you, I believe, with some member bonuses as well. Now bear in mind, I have all these patterns in my personal library on the Seamwork website. I can download them as many times as I like, and I've only paid £70, which is about $90. It's half price for me, for my access to the Seamwork website for 12 months. So I've got my entire autumn wardrobe for $90 or £70, and that is astronomical value. I have to say that if you buy the full membership, then it's obviously $180 or £140, but if you're going to use all the patterns, then it really is a good value. Just an aside here, I've added something a bit different this time to my whole social media thing. As well as showing you the patterns on YouTube, like I just have, I've also added all the patterns and all the links to Pinterest on a Pinterest board in my account. I'll give you my link to my Pinterest account in the description box below, so please click on it if you want more information about the patterns that I've showed to you. If you're interested in also pinning my plans, I can pop my plans also onto the Seamwork board, so you've got my plans ready as well. I'm not sure that you can print those. It's a PDF that I generated on Canva, but like I said, if you want these plans to look at your leisure, let me know in the comments below, and I'll quite happily pin them to my Seamwork board on Pinterest. Happy sewing until next time. Bye.